Adi Da Fat TV presents The Biographies of Eminent Monks. Biographies of Eminent Monks. Shi Wei Jiao. Introduction. The Biographies of Eminent Monks, Gao Seng Zhuan, is a compilation of the lives of over 500 Buddhist figures from 67 CE to 519 CE. This 14-chapter volume became the widely accepted basis for Chinese Buddhist, historical biography literature from the 6th century onwards. Extending from China's first interactions with Buddhism to the Liang dynasty, the text of the Biographies of Eminent Monks discusses Buddhist figures that were well known during the time of Shi Hujiao, 497 to 554 CE, the compiler and author. It is our hope that this new English translation of Shi Hujiao's Biographies of Eminent Monks will make these poignant stories and crucial aspects of Chinese Buddhist history widely available to the English-speaking public, practitioners, and academics. In order to fully grasp the context of these stories, however, it is important to understand why Hujiao made such an effort to compile them. There are very few sources of Hujiao's life. What is known is pulled from Sengguo's postscript at the end of the Biographies of Eminent Monks, and the short biography in Daoxuan's supplement to the Biographies of Eminent Monks, Shu Gaoseng Zhuan. Hujiao was originally from the district of Shangyu in Kuaiji, an administrative region located to the south of Hangzhou Bay. During his early years in the beginning of the 6th century CE, the Kuaiji region became a center for intellectuals and cultural development. Hujiao became well-versed in both Confucian and Buddhist texts and their differing literary traditions. He trained to be a scholar monk and practiced at Jiashang Temple on Kuaiji Mountain, where he eventually began work on his Biographies of Eminent Monks. According to Daoxuan's biography, Hujiao preached consistently during the spring and summer and wrote commentaries during the fall and winter. He only worked on historical research and compilation for the biographies in his spare time between reading religious texts and attending lectures. In his postface, Hujiao describes the wide breadth of sources he used to compile this text. He compares the different compilations of biographies prior to his own work, criticizing their lack of proof, and the fact that they leave a great deal of information absent. One of the interesting omissions from his list of biography compilations is Baochang's Biographies of Famous Monks, Mingxing Zhuan, which is estimated to have been completed between 510 CE and 514 CE, around 30 years before the latest. The Biographies of Eminent Monks could have been completed 540 CE. He does, however, denigrate the use of famous when referring to Buddhist figures in his postface. opting for the word eminent instead. Scholars have suggested that this was a pointed insult towards Baocheng's volume, which would have been circulating at that time. However, the similarities between the figures in both volumes show that Hu Jiao likely used Baocheng's work to compile his own. Hu Jiao explains that he used oral testimony from elders and historical and geographical works from most of the historical dynasties mentioned throughout the biographies of eminent monks to supplement the previously written hagiographies of Buddhist figures. Although he never directly compares himself to a historian in his postface for the biographies of eminent monks, scholars have generally determined that, based on his methods and tone, Hu Jiao did believe he was a Buddhist historian improving on previous hagiographical works. This compilation was meant to act as an example for how Buddhist biographies were meant to be written in Hu Jiao's eyes. He removes the undeserved compliments and repetition, while focusing on the abandonment of glory and affection in the lives of eminent figures. With this in mind, it is very likely that Hu Jiao, having read the biographies of famous monks, sought to create a better compilation for posterity. The text itself, consisting of 14 chapters, has 13 chapters of biographies and a final chapter with Hu Jiao's postface. The biographies are divided into 10 categories: scriptural translation, doctrinal exegesis, supernatural powers, meditative practice, Vinaya exhortation, self-immolation, scriptural recitation, benevolent cause, scriptural intoners, and recitation guides. Each section ends with a short commentary by Hu Jiao that ties together the themes of the biographies. This structure used as the basis for later compilations of Chinese Buddhist biographies. Daoxuan's supplement to the biographies of eminent monks and Zanning's biographies of eminent monks in the Song dynasty. Song Gao Seng Zhuan were two of the most influential later texts. The diversity of Buddhist activity and experience across Asia from a Chinese perspective, and they are a crucial source for understanding the early period of Buddhism in China. Hu Jiao's historical work, although highly influenced by his predecessors, presented a new structure for the compilation of hagiographical and biographical Buddhist literature. This new structure, combined with Hu Jiao's gathered prose, made it one of the most popular sources of Buddhist hagiography in China, surpassing all previous biographical compilations. Reading the stories and commentaries in this volume will garner a deeper understanding of Buddhist culture in China, including transmission and localization, and what aspects were of high importance during the Northern and Southern dynasties. August 1, 2021. Edward Ross, editor.